So when we're doing a history and we're trying to evaluate, well, why are you getting back pain? Have you had any ankle injuries? Well, yeah, I had a really bad one about a year ago. Really, really bad, really lamed me up. They actually put me in a walking boot and I didn't move it. Okay, well, that starts adding up, because now as you start walking more or faster, that pattern, that poor motion is going to come out even more. And it's going to create rotation somewhere else, which creates more of a problem. So now you're having back pain. So let's dovetail this into Achilles tendonitis. So Achilles tendonitis, we talked about a little bit earlier. So that's the tendon that comes here. With poor motion that occurs at the ankle here, you have to try and get that motion somewhere. So what happens is the calf tries to fire harder to create more of that motion, and it can't. And you get, from the lack of mobility, tension into the Achilles. So over time, you get people that start developing Achilles tendonitis because of the lack of ankle mobility from a previous ankle sprain. Okay. The other thing you can get is continued pain. So picture the fact that your ankle is not moving the way it needs to. It's at end range when it shouldn't be. You're continuing trying to walk the way you normally. So it's just causing chronic low-grade irritation. And we all know that nobody goes to get help because of pain. It really has to do with that the pain leads to a lack of function. So if you can still get around and you can still walk and it aches really bad at the end of the night, that doesn't always move the needle to get people to act and get the care that they need. So just know that pain doesn't always move the needle for people, but it can lead to that residual pain where it aches at night. 6 months down the road, you're still going, oh, my ankle just aches every time I go to bed at night. It makes it hard. I have to pop 3 Aleve just to get the pain to come down so I can get 4 hours of sleep. So that could be solely because of poor range of motion to the ankle. I mentioned the limited stride length as well and how that plays a factor, but that can also play a factor to the knee. So you can get knee pain because of the change in body mechanics, hip pain, butt pain, or back pain. So not gingivitis. Nope, it doesn't cause that, but it does cause those other 4. Okay. Stiffness. So this really is deriving from this lack of motion of stiffness. Overall, the ankle won't move the way it needs to. But when we're also talking about stiffness, we're talking about to the midfoot. So if you look, here's the ankle up in here. But down in here, this is the midfoot of the foot itself. And that part's needed because the foot also has to be able to rotate lightly side to side this way, not just up and down this way. So the foot needs to be able to rotate. So the midfoot itself, if you have enough swelling that occurs down in here now, and then you are putting a walking boot, or you're not putting any weight on it, you're not moving it. So now what happens is this gets stiff too. So now you're getting midfoot pain and you're going, I don't know why. You can't run the way you want to. You start walking fast, you start getting midfoot pain. Okay. We talked also about the poor range of motion up here prevents you to squat properly. That was one. But the last 2 I'll touch on why this all occurs and some of the negative consequences. The next one is balance ability. So if you have poor ankle mobility, it can't move the way it needs to. The muscles around the joint are not going to be able to fire the way that they need to. And what's the consequence? Poor stability, poor balance. Try and balance on one leg and it's not happening. Depending on how much motion that you lose right there in the joint, that can really determine your level of balance. And the last one that this truly affects a ton is running. If you have poor range of motion here, you can't dorsiflex the foot over the top itself. So this part of the leg can't go this way well. And that really occurs with running because we stride out bigger, we land, it's kind of a jump, and then we land and go over the top of the other foot, and we can't. So then your mechanics really start to change. So the people that are runners that have had a previous ankle sprain, or they play sports, basketball, soccer, anything that involves a lot of running, now they're talking about, now I have knee pain. Now I have hip pain. Now I have back pain. Why am I getting this? And it can come back to the stiffness to the ankle.